Procrastination is usually a reflection of fear, not laziness. Fear of failing, messing up, or not being good enough. Attractive people are automatically perceived as more competent. That's the halo effect. One positive trait influences the overall impression. The brain takes just 0.05 seconds to form an impression of someone. Judgments are automatic and unconscious. Laughter reduces the perception of pain. The brain releases endorphins when we laugh. People prefer immediate rewards, even if smaller, over bigger ones that come later. That's hyperbolic discounting. The first response that comes to mind is usually emotional. Logical thinking kicks in only after. The brain favors familiar patterns. That's why we tend to repeat behaviors, even bad ones. The more choices we have, the harder it is to decide. Too much freedom can be paralyzing. People remember emotions, not words. How you make someone feel sticks longer than what you say. The brain remembers the beginning and end of experiences best. That's the primacy and recency effect. Being ignored hurts as much as physical pain. Social rejection activates the same brain areas. Most decisions are made unconsciously. Logic only comes in later to justify them. Hearing your name activates specific areas of the brain. It's one of the most powerful attention grabbers. Body language speaks louder than words. About 70% of communication is nonverbal. People unconsciously mirror the behavior of those they like. This subtle reflex is called mirroring. Anxiety can be mistaken for excitement. The body reacts similarly to both. We agree more with people who touch us lightly. A subtle touch increases cooperation. Chronic loneliness is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Social isolation affects physical health. Talking about a problem helps organize your thoughts. Verbalizing reduces emotional weight. People tend to underestimate how much others like them. That's called the liking gap. Memories change every time they're recalled. Remembering actually rewrites them. Feeling watched changes behavior. Even an image of eyes can increase honesty. Small acts of kindness have a big emotional impact. The effect is stronger for the receiver than the giver. Our brain fills in missing patterns. That's why we can read incomplete texts or recognize partial faces. Emotionally charged memories feel more vivid, but aren't necessarily more accurate. Emotion intensifies and distorts. Decisions made under pressure are usually more impulsive. Stress lowers our ability to think clearly. People pay more attention to information that confirms what they already believe. That's confirmation bias. Overthinking simple choices can lead to worse decisions. It's called analysis paralysis. Colors influence mood and behavior. Blue calms, red stimulates, yellow grabs attention. People remember stories better than stats. Our brains are wired for narratives. Unfinished tasks linger in your mind. That's the Zeigarnik effect. Familiarity breeds fondness. The more we see something or someone, the more we tend to like it. It takes an average of 66 days to build a new habit. Not 21. Real change takes time. People remember criticism more than praise. The brain is wired to focus on the negative. Environment influences behavior more than we realize. Changing your space changes your decisions. We're more productive in natural light. It affects our biological rhythm and focus. Expectation shapes perception. If you think food is expensive, it'll actually taste better. Self-talk shapes emotions. How you speak to yourself affects mood and self-esteem. Healthy relationships have more positive than negative interactions, at a 5-to-1 ratio, according to John Gottman. Staring into someone's eyes for a few minutes creates intimacy. Even with strangers. Sharing a secret builds strong bonds. Vulnerability creates emotional connection. People are more generous when they feel watched. The sense of being seen triggers reputation awareness. Self-control works like a muscle. It can get tired, but also stronger. This is ego depletion. Gratitude boosts mental well-being. It activates the brain's reward areas. People project insecurities onto others. Harsh criticism often says more about the critic. Human touch can lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone. Even brief contact helps. Multitasking reduces efficiency. The brain switches between tasks, it doesn't do them simultaneously. In ambiguous situations, people follow the group. That's the herd effect. Small goals boost motivation. Visible progress reinforces behavior. Mood affects financial decisions. Happier people take more risks. Silence can be uncomfortable, but powerful. It helps extract more info in conversations. Nostalgic songs activate brain regions linked to reward. That's why some tracks just hit different. Attractive people are perceived as more competent. The halo effect strikes again. We're more persuasive when we keep arguments simple and clear. Clarity builds trust. Scarcity increases desire. When something seems rare, we value it more. Your name can influence your career path. It's called nominative determinism. People often follow orders even when they know they're wrong, if the authority is strong enough. Proven in the Milgram experiment. Self-esteem is shaped early, especially in childhood. Parental interactions leave lasting marks. We're more driven to avoid loss than to gain something. That's loss aversion. Social comparison shapes self-perception. We constantly measure ourselves against others. Watching someone yawn triggers a yawn. It's a sign of empathy and connection. How you dress affects your confidence. Clothing influences posture and mindset. Your brain keeps working even when you're doing nothing. That's the default mode network, linked to creativity. Moral decisions shift when we're tired. Fatigue clouds ethical judgment. People underestimate how much others think about them. That's the spotlight effect. Painful memories come with more sensory detail than neutral ones. Emotionally intense experiences are prioritized. The brain prefers happy endings, even if the middle was rough. That's the peak-end bias. We're more honest in writing than in speech. Writing increases self-awareness. Tiny environmental changes lead to big behavioral shifts. That's the principle behind nudging. When we like someone, we assume they like us too. That's assumed reciprocity. Curiosity activates the brain's reward center. We chase info like we chase food. More choices equals more regret. Unlimited freedom doesn't always bring satisfaction. Forgiveness reduces stress and improves mental health, even if the other person never changes. People reveal secrets more easily in the dark. Darkness lowers the fear of judgment. Faking a smile can actually boost your mood. Facial expressions affect emotions. Touching someone's arm or shoulder boosts emotional support. Small gestures have big meaning. How someone treats staff says a lot about their character. It's a strong empathy indicator. Speaking calmly and slowly increases your chances of persuasion. Tone matters more than content. We feel more joy giving gifts than receiving them. Generosity lights up the brain. We trust people more when they admit small flaws. It makes them feel real. Being in a group reduces personal responsibility. That's the diffusion of responsibility. The brain loves patterns, even where none exist. That's how many superstitions start. Predictable background noise, like rain sounds, helps with focus. Irregular noise is more distracting. Repeat a lie enough and it starts to feel true. That's the illusory truth effect. We repeat past behaviors that worked, even if circumstances have changed. That's repetition bias. The brain gradually tunes out constant stimuli. That's sensory adaptation. Visual cues grab more attention than audio. That's why images are so powerful. Most people overestimate their multitasking skills. You can lose up to 40% efficiency trying to juggle tasks. Unfinished tasks cause mental discomfort until completed. Hence the just 5 more minutes urge. Negative expectations can influence real outcomes. That's the nocebo effect. People listen better when they feel heard first. Active listening doubles communication effectiveness. Our identity is shaped by the stories we tell ourselves. Personal narrative drives future actions. How you start your day sets the tone for the rest. Small morning rituals have big effects. We feel more confident standing than sitting. Posture shifts internal perception. Regret from not doing something lasts longer than regret from trying and failing. Inaction hits harder. Small changes are more sustainable than dramatic shifts. The brain resists sudden disruptions. Moral judgment shifts with physical surroundings. Dirty spaces increase moral disapproval. Constant frustration kills empathy. It's easier to shut down than cope. People who talk to themselves often have better emotional control. Verbalizing helps processing. Too many options can lead to regret, even after a good choice. The what if is hard to silence. How you interpret an event matters more than the event itself. The mind constructs the experience.